Man, are you guys up early this morning? I'm out here to use the device behind me, trying to raise my center of gravity again. It's sank because I've gotten a little bit older, so while it's good for my balance, I need to bring her back up to the old shoulders and whatnot. But also while I'm out here, thought I would do a little bit of data testing. As you can see, I got the old temperature gun with me. Gonna fire the Toyota up and take some temperature readings on the exhaust, maybe a little bit of header shot, the muffler, just to see how much that jet hot coating removes from the system. See if it actually works, if it's worth the money. All right, we'll sign off for now and then get back to you a little bit later once we've get out here for working. All right, guys, let's see here. We have ambient temperature 79 degrees. All right, that's gonna matter a little bit later because when I go get the exhaust done, it's gonna be a lot warmer. This rig does not have an automatic fan. It is your old standard clutch fan. So I kept waiting for the electric one to kick on. That did not happen. Coolant temp is, you can see that. Maybe, maybe not. Well, hopefully you can see it. Maybe not. 188 though. So let's see if we can get some readings. Hopefully we'll get something. So 350. I know, you know, if you can't see it, you guys are gonna have to trust me a little bit. I know we're got a new thing going. But yeah, 350 degrees right at the manifold itself. And you guys aren't gonna be able to see anything underneath here. Just a little bit cooler at the end of the Y pipe. Looking at 344. $278, $280. Further down the line. Oh, the muffler's pretty cool. We're down to 93 at the muffler itself. Admittedly, this is at idle. All right, so idle isn't going to get real hot. You know, if you're on it, especially with a supercharger, 1400 degrees in EGTs wouldn't be unusual, but for what we're doing, just to see if it does anything, idle's good. It's at least consistent. Oops. I wish you guys, you know, focus right here. You know, you guys keep wandering around. Next thing I know, you're over here. No, I'm right here. Come on. And so 1400 degrees, you know, on a hard throttle, full throttle, wide open, that kind of thing wouldn't be unusual. Idle, of course, we're going to be lower, but it's consistent. I can check the ambient air temperature, and we know that all the other conditions are the same. So it should give us at least a good baseline reading. All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are back on the Toyota today, as you can see. Day two, getting a very late start. We had football this morning with the kids. Crazy game. I don't even remember who won. Good times though. But we're going to do the exhaust today and hopefully get to the radiator, at least getting things torn out. Also going to bleed the brakes, so probably bleed the brakes first so we can call that job done. I'm going to use my vacuum system, as you can see right here. It's typically for oil changes, but for getting the rough portion of bleeding down, I like it. Connect it with a hose right here, straight up. We'll put it right on the nipple, open up the bleeders, just give it a little bit of vacuum, pull it down. You can watch the line to see what's going on. And then on the exhaust, so I've laid it out all here. We've got the Y pipe up front, the next pipe down, the muffler. It's got a resonator. He had it coated. He went with the quietest option. He didn't want a lot of road noise from it. Over the axle pipe, and then this one ends, instead of exiting the side of the vehicle, it ends out right behind the axle to keep you from crushing the tailpipe on the fenders itself. System came, he bought all new hardware, which is very nice. So we got new band clamps all the way down, new springs and bolts, as well as all new collector gaskets. These are the stock version from Toyota, and then he bought some better ones, sintered metal it looks like, a little bit thicker, and they fit much tighter. These are from Underdog Racing, and then you can see they fit in nice and tight, whereas the stock ones move around a little bit. And these are going to crush down a little bit. They're designed that way, so it should be able to get a really nice tight seal on these. And then as I showed you earlier, we got some temperature measurements on it this morning. We'll check that, see how the Jet Hot coating works out, and I'll try to put links to Jet Hot and some of these other guys in there down below once I go back to editing. All right, so let's get to it. All right guys, we ran into a problem. You can see there's a hole in the end, but right there should be a hole, and there is not. Couldn't pull fluid from the passenger front. Just didn't understand why. So you know, you got to start drilling down, double checking. Went over to the driver's side. The driver's side got fluid out nice and solid. I've actually got it completely bled already. We'll double check it, but once we finish getting this side, right now I've just got something underneath it. I verified I had fluid through the line. We've got it dripping in that bucket. Doug is double checking, topping it off. So I'm going to drill this out. I don't have a spare, at least I don't believe I do. I'll double check that, maybe if I do. If not, pretty simple, just drill a hole and call it good. We'll blow it out real good, make sure we're clean, get a light in there, that kind of thing, and then put it back in. It's fine otherwise. All right guys, we're back. Okay, so we're going to be drilling this hole out. I went through my box up here. I didn't have any of the right ones, banjo bolts that is. I had a couple others, all the wrong size. Even my new crush washers are the wrong size. So we're going to go ahead and drill this one out. I did verify, I went through, looked at a couple of the other ones. Looks like a 7/64 drill bit will work just fine. Then of course the battery was dead in the drill, so I had to go get that taken care of. But nice and slow, keeping it straight. You don't want to drill and snap the bit off inside there. You're using really light pressure. Not going too fast. Looks like we're getting there. right, we're through. All right, so can't really see in there, but we'll get some air and blow it out and then clean it, and we should be good. Okay. I'm not even gonna, typically if I drilled that straight through, this one's already chamfered, they'd already started it, just looks like they didn't go far enough in. I would worry about getting the chamfer on that to help with fluid flow, but we're not gonna worry about that this time. We're just gonna get back to fixing the rig. All right, we got it done finally. We did have that one problem with the banjo bolt that was on it, got it drilled out, and looks like it's fine. All the rest of them bled out just fine. It looked like we had a lockup with the ABS or something. Couldn't get the rears to bleed out correctly till we started the vehicle. As soon as we started the vehicle, looks like the valve moved or whatever, and they pulled fine. That's sometimes different vehicles with the ABS system can be different like that. So we worked with it. I do want to finish filling up. Actually, it's already done. Doug just did it. So we're topped off, caps back on. We'll pull this. Remember to pull our rag out, and we'll leave all of that. We'll put all that with his other stuff. You'll notice on some of these, so we do have a little bit of rust showing up. They did not come from Stop Tech like that. It had a rust preventative coating on them. They recommended that you remove it, so I did. Cleaned it with soap and water per their recommendations to improve the bedding, brake bedding, which is something that the owner of the vehicle is going to need to do. He's going to need to go through the whole, you know, drive 10 miles an hour, come to a stop, 30 miles an hour, come to a stop, 45, 50, whatever it is, and get all of the brakes bedded in properly to get the right life out of them. We're going to stop, eat lunch, come back, and get started on the exhaust. All right, everyone, we are down here, we're underneath. So we're going to be removing this pipe, this one here. It's still rather warm. I forgot we fired it up. So we'll remove it from right here all the way down. We'll remove his wideband and his O2 sensor. Bring them down, removing it here all the way down, removing the exhaust. This is a Gibson. Coming back to here, we got to remove these two, there and there. Can't really pan out wide enough. And then this one comes down and over. The new exhaust just comes up, and then I want to say it dumps out right here, right over here in this space, in between the axle and the tire. Let's get to it. I did get a new light, so we'll see if we can't get this done. There. Alright, gonna use a little WD-40 special lube. This stuff's nice and sticky. Helps with getting some of these grommets, rubber grommets and stuff off of the metal. Mark it. Sweet. Up there. All right, gonna set you guys back down underneath. You know, I appreciate you guys moving around. Hopefully you can actually see something. Yeah, we may need to cut it one more time. All right. We can't. There we go. All right. I think this one will sound good underneath yours, Doug. We have to re-weld it back on, but whatever it takes. All right.
Oh yeah. So.
Way sportier than it is now. Alright, so now we need all that water was into the pump.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Oh yeah. It doesn't get running out of the water. Alright guys, let's go up front and see about taking a look at getting the two Y pieces out. We got to disconnect it right there and then right here. Oops. Here. What did I do with the 14? There it is. Hey, can you grab me a 14 deep well 3/8 drive?
You know that one?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yep. I need the bigger one. If you're wondering about my gun, it's just a little quarter drive, the quarter drive impact. It's not one of the big ones. I typically use my big air compressor driven one, my Ingersoll Rand, but sometimes it's a little too powerful. Although this one may not be getting it. I'll need a pry bar, Doug. We got one more rubber grommet to get loose. And I lost the nut, of course. This may need, what do we have? Let's try to go forward with it, no? We may need to take that bracket off. No? Okay, yeah. Alright, so there's a clamp right here. Looks like it's, feels like it's a 10.
Okay.
We get a 10 on a ratchet, we undo that, and then this cat will come off, a resonator, whatever it may be. Alright guys, you see, we got a clamp right here. Take this clamp off, undo it here. These two pieces will slide apart. We should be able to take it apart. I believe it's just a second cat. Is that it?
Good.
Can you get it from this side? Give you a little more room. That's tightening it.
I already tell you lefty loosey, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have. I thought I did. Yeah, I guess I
could have had it wrong.
coming from the other direction, I think.
How many people to take one 10mm bolt out? 2.
She's spraying it. There she goes.
Alright, yeah, once we get that clamp loosened up, I think that undoes it. Might need to take these others out too.
It's gotta be loose.
Yeah, try taking these two off. Yeah. Oh, of course. It's spinning on the back side.
You need a wrench or you?
Yeah, I get a wrench.
Alright. I'll get it.
Now you get it?
Yeah. Work on the other one, I guess. Yeah. Spin.
And if you guys see, it's raining again. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. We're just in a really rainy time of the year right now. If you can, grab a 3/8 drive one. Look at how clean this is. Y'all see that? Look at that, just spotless. I never work on rigs like this. Usually it's face full of mud, rocks coming out, grease, oil. It's never clean. So as you saw, we left the camera there for a minute, went over to the other side in the other part of the shop. This was just between these two, since there's no movement between them. This one bolt hole, we had to enlarge it. And then after I did it, took a flat file and just smooth the face of it out so that we still got a nice mounting flange. We don't have any burrs in here to get in the way of stuff. Now we'll try it again. Hopefully this one fits. Everything else is fitting great. Just that one bolt is giving us trouble. Alright, good morning everybody. This is day 3 on the Toyota. Today we're going to be doing the radiator and the alternator. Hopefully this goes smoothly. I don't have as much time today being Sunday as I normally do, so I'd like to get this done and get this one back to its owner. We got other projects to move on to over the next couple of weekends and whatnot. So hopefully, looks like a very nice unit. I'll get show you that here in a minute. As far as the both the alternator and the radiator. Radiator looks like everything's in the right place. Only time will tell as we get into it. But I'm going to take the driver's side tire off in preparation for getting to the alternator. It looks like we need to go through the fender well to get to a couple of the bolts. There's 3 holding that one in. And then we'll remove the fan shroud and all of that stuff to get the radiator out. Disconnect the lines going to it. We'll drain out the fluids. And then hopefully it's a real quick and easy swap. That I don't have to remove the fan or anything. Looks like there's enough room. We will see. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so here is the radiator. Very nice unit. I've got it unboxed. Just really nice. You can see we got some decent welds on here. Comes with the 20-pound cap. All of the fittings, everything looks to be in really good shape. We're nice and we're actually round. All the fins, it was well packaged. Nice drain. All the right connectors. So just a nice unit overall. Nice thick flanges. Not any of these 16th inch, nice 3/16 flanges. All the bungs are nice and thick. You can see here, you know, nothing chintzy about this one at all. All right, guys, show you where I'm at. We finally got everything off, as you can see. Got to the 4 bolts. Once everything's out, it was easy to get to right in there. One there, and one there. Radiator came out fairly easy. You know, it's always finicky getting everything around the shroud and whatnot. Looking at doing the alternator, and I think we're gonna have to skip it. This is a supercharger. It's aftermarket. It is a Magnuson. Pretty good little unit. Here is the belt routing system for it, and the alternator belt and everything runs behind it. Not a big deal. But in order to get the alternator out, see if I can get things to stay. So right in there where the light's at. Dang it. I need you guys to just look through my eyes. It'd be so much simpler. Alright, right there. Can you see that? No, I don't think you can. Alright, right there. That black little bolt goes to the back of the bracket for the supercharger belt routing. It's held on there, and a bolt over here, and I don't see another one. Just those two, unless that one has one through it all the way to the block, which I cannot see. But it looks like just those three. And the new alternator does not have provisions for that. It has this bolt, that one there, the silver one, and then that silver one down there, now that the flashlight's on. And that's it. It doesn't have anything else. So if I put those two in, we lose a bolt on our supercharger bracket, and I don't know that we want to risk having that kind of vibration, since we're losing a bolt off of the alternator as well. We're losing that one back there. I'll take you over and show you. All right, focus, guys. Let's stay focused. I know. So you can see on the other alternator, we have this hole, we have another bracket over here, we have a hole here that black bolt was going into, and then we have the third bolt underneath. So 1, 2, this one, and then the bracket back here. I just can't see that we want to switch that up. If we switch that up, I would be concerned that we may not have enough for the supercharger. So I'm gonna put it back together as is, with the new radiator going in there, and let the owner decide how he wants to handle that. And he's got some wiring stuff to do later. If we need to pull the radiator back out and whatnot to get to it, you know, it'll be quicker. We know what we're doing this time. But I think he's gonna have to go a different route. All right. All right, everyone, just a quick update. We are getting back into being almost done. As you can see, let me flip you around here. Front fascia's back on, everything's bolted in for the most part. I got a couple more clips to put in. You know, everything back here is done. Fog lights, remember to plug them back in. The radiator's all in. We have to zip tie up a couple of things. I have a couple of the clips, like I was saying here, that need to be put in. Then we'll put in the piece that goes here. Just finished with some self-vulcanizing tape on the camera connection. We'll get it zip tied, tucked back up in here where it goes. A couple of zip ties along it. This gets zip tied up to here. Got a bolt we gotta still tighten up right there. And then fill the radiator. And we should be, oops, got you guys everywhere. I'm sorry about my crappy camera work. I get it better. It'll get better because it can't get no worse. And then we'll test run it, make sure that everything's working, and wrap this one up. Quick update, we have everything back together. Just need to fill the radiator and put this top cover back on. As you can see, let me flip you around. Got everything zip tied up. Now I clip all my zip ties, it's just the way I do it. Let me know in the comments below, are you somebody clips them, or do you like to leave them long? I know there's a camp that likes to leave them long. They say they don't get caught on them, they don't have to worry about cutting up their arms or hands when they're reaching in here. I just don't like the look of having those long ends hanging around everywhere, except when I put them on a drive shaft, in which case we put lots of them on there and we leave them really long. But I will finish this up and then we'll do a walk around on the vehicle. We'll also check the temps. Remember, we were checking temps on what our exhaust did with the jet hot coating, see how much it's reducing it. And we'll do that though while we're idling up for the thermostat to open up on the radiator. Everyone, the Toyota is finished. We've got everything on it that we're able to do. We weren't able to get to that alternator. He's going to look into it. I did talk to him about it. We'll do a quick walk around. For the most part, even though it's got a lot of work done to it, it looks like a pretty stock vehicle. And then we're going to do the temperatures on the exhaust just to see where we're at. So right now, one of my favorite parts of this rig is this system right here. So we get to go here. This is a Kenwood system. I don't know what model, but like he's got his front camera in it. So you can see the shop. It's tied into via Bluetooth to the OBD. So it's got some of the components from the vehicle info as far as like his tire pressures, tire temperatures. Then we go here. Obviously it's got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all that good stuff. And then but it's got a gauges with it, which I love my gauges. So right now it's idling at 188, which is about right for this vehicle. He's got mile per hours, air fuel ratio, intake temp, trans temp. He said he had to redo the sensor on it or something. It's got problems. And then can also switch it over, so RPM, timing, manifold, absolute, or your MAF, voltage, and EGTs. All right, so let's go out, we'll check some temps, see how we're looking. All right. All right, coming over here on the, all right, so on the muffler, I hope you guys can see this. Oh. Wow, that's a big reduction. So we were 270, or I'll double check it. We're at 94 degrees on that. Up here on the Y pipe, 180, 215, 220. Here's an area that's not coated. Yeah, that's a big difference. We were over 300 here, so took 100 degrees out of it at least. That's pretty impressive. So underneath, really not a lot yet. He's got front skid plate, just the mild lift, little larger tire, 235 70s 17s. It's got the TRD Bilsteins, all four corners. And then of course, Magnuson supercharger, which is really what's given us the difficulty. It's got that other alternator bracket and the bolt that's in the way, so we'll get to deal with that coolant tank for the supercharger, and then obviously we just put in the radiator. But that wraps us up for this one, and we'll get to the next one.